G'day everyone, TheGlitched64 here, and today I wanted to do a quick video about my top 10 favourite Pokemon games. Pokemon being possibly one of the greatest gaming franchises in my opinion, with a pretty solid track record for having pretty good games throughout, except for a couple of odd exceptions. I love almost every game with the Pokemon name slapped onto it, save for a couple of them. I love the main series, but the spin-offs can also have some amazing games on their own. And for that reason, this list is not just a top 10 in the main series, this is a no-holds-barred top 10 where the main game or spin-off, every Pokemon game has a chance to make the list. There is only one rule I have for this list, and that is that I must have played it for myself, which sadly means that any game not released for the PAL/Europe/Australia, aka Japan and America exclusives, will be left off the list, as well as games that are lost forever, aka WiiWare titles. Pokemon games that never made it to the PAL region or can no longer be bought in the PAL region include Pokemon Green, however Red and Blue are fair game, Pokemon Card GB2, the Japan exclusive sequel to the Game Boy trading card game, the WiiWare Pokemon Dungeon game, which was a Japan exclusive, Pokemon Rumble, the first one for WiiWare, since WiiWare is gone, Pokemon Monsters Stadium, the prequel to Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Colosseum, Well, Wikipedia says that this game never came out, but the fact I have a PAL version means that... could it be that Wikipedia lied to me? Nah, that's silly. Hey you Pikachu! Yes, we never actually got this game in the PAL region. Pokemates, a Japan exclusive mobile Pokemon thing? Yeah, I don't think this would have made the top 10 anyways. Pokemon Treta, a Japan exclusive arcade game. Pokemon Treta Lab, I guess the sequel, and finally, Great Detective Pikachu. And just quickly before I go on, can I just say how hard it was to find some Pokemon Green gameplay and not, Okay, so with all those games knocked out of the competition, there are still a bunch to go through, so without further ado, let's start my top 10 favourite Pokemon games. Here we go. It's just not cocked, you see. See, now it's ruined every... Number 10. Pokken Tournament is an interesting experiment, taking Pokemon and giving them Tekken-esque fighting game, and in my opinion, it worked really well. Just not well enough to be any higher on the list. It's not a game we have really come back to, but a game we played for hours when we first got it. Most fighting games forget the little addition of a real single-player mode, and being little Johnny Loner over here, it was nice to see a single-player tournament mode, complete with story and cutscenes and everything. The gameplay is flowing with smooth controls, it's a bit spotty at times, but they are nice to play around with. Not second level, but definitely less spam to win than Street Fighter can be. The graphics are great of course, and help with the quick-paced nature of the game, and each Pokemon has its own moves as well as strengths and weaknesses, some being more power-focused, and some being more speed-focused, some being more range-focused. This is a game I would recommend for just some quick fun fighting action. Number 9. Pokemon Rumble has always been a little curiosity of mine. Nothing I would like anywhere near that of the main game, but something that had a little fun concept of its own. And the one I think I like the best is actually Super Pokemon Rumble for the 3DS. Pokemon Rumble was a decent concept, but not nearly all they could do with that concept, and that's where this game came in, which had a great story, a sort of collectathon vibe, which you got more and more powerful Pokemon as the game went on, as opposed to strengthening the Pokemon that you did have, which I wasn't a fan of at first, but it did kind of grow on me. Comparing this game to Pokemon Rumble U, which came out 2 years later, that was very downgraded, and Pokemon Rumble World, which, well, it was a free-to-play game. It's easy to see why this game was the superior of the series quadrilogy. It might not be the most engaging game, but a great little pickup to see a new spin on a great franchise. Speaking of spins on existing franchises... Number 8. Pokemon Ranger is definitely the best spin-off game I've talked about so far, and while I've played the first 2 Pokemon Ranger games, I have a soft spot for the first one. It was one of the first games I played on the DS, and to be honest, I had a lot of fun with this game. Sure, it's not the most advanced out of the 3, but this isn't an objectively and evidence-supported top 10, these are just top 10 games I like, and I really could understand why someone would like the other 2 as their favourites. They're really good games. Pokemon Ranger changes the formula, by not having your character catch Pokemon, but rather borrowing Pokemon, which can do something in the level, having a limited amount of Pokemon you could keep on hand at one time. You need to make sure you had the ones you needed on hand for that particular mission, being able to use Pokemon to help you catch other ones as well, with their power-ups and uses like, you know, fire beats grass and all that sort of thing. The missions were mostly always fun, and the challenge was very fair up until the very end, and the story of a Pokemon game was actually pretty investing. Something the series was still kind of struggling with in 2006, before Black and White and Sun and Moon made story a deeper part of the game. The way you caught Pokemon, and the way they each had their own defenses, was a lot of fun. The bosses were always a good challenge, and the musical quartet was just... fucking hell, they were great. All in all, I really recommend this game. Number 7, Pokémon Ruby, Emerald and Sapphire. Generation 3 never seems to get the respect I think it deserves. And it's why a lot of people dropped off from the Pokémon series, and the designs were called a bit odd, uninspired and lacking. But seriously, why does Gen 1 get a free pass with this shit, but not Gen 3? Generation 3 had probably the best area to explore out of the first 6 generations to me. I'm dead serious. Something about the lush jungle and swampy tropical environment to me made the towns and routes so much more fun to explore, and the Pokemon had tropical vibes to them which I really liked, and that belonged in the region, something that they did in Generation 1 as well. Like I said, the Pokemon here are great. This is the region that gave us Flygon, Salamence, Glalie, Dusclops, Absol, and Castform, which was a fun novelty Pokemon that you got in the game for free. The music in this game is really nice and sharp too, I dare say better than a lot of the Gen 1 tracks. Double battles were an insanely great addition, them being the standard for competitions even today. And the post game was also a lot of fun, and the remake just blew my fucking balls off. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald is a very, very underrated game, and I think it holds up very well. Number 6. Pokemon Snap is where you take pictures of Pokemon, the end. Okay, well obviously there's more to it, but the core main mechanic is you helping Professor Oak in his research by snapping pictures of Pokemon, getting judged in a system I can't really figure out, rinse and repeat. It's really fun to go around and take the best shots you can get, trying to get Pokemon when they do a really cool animation or snap a hard to see Pokemon or a Pokemon that isn't on screen for very long. It's actually pretty rewarding. The graphics look pretty good for the Nintendo 64, and it's really just a nice, fun, wind-down game I would recommend wholeheartedly, and it's now on the Wii U shop, so yeah, go grab it if you can. It's a nice little fun relaxation game. Not much more to say, actually. Number 5. As far as experimental Pokemon spin-offs go, I actually think Pokepark Wii Pictures Adventure is probably the best. Or at least the best that strays away from the classic Pokemon formula. Which is crazy to think, but this game was actually a lot better than I anticipated. Now, I know there's a reason this game appeals to me, and that reason is because I'm very OCD and I'm a big fan of collectathons, and this game fed that like you wouldn't believe. This game is just one big collectathon. Make friends with all the Pokemon. Make best friends with all the Pokemon. Take all the Pokemon you've befriended and best friended, and make them play the games, and get their best scores, and beat the predetermined score. Yeah, it's just very fun for me. Basically, this game is you have to go through the different worlds, make friends with enough Pokemon to get prison pieces by playing different attractions. These attractions are fun little mini games, from running to swinging to breaking rocks with your head, you know, all the usual types of games. And there's just something very fun about going from world to world, talking with all the Pokemon, expanding the universe, playing the minigames with all the Pokemon, and going through this deep story of legends who are losing the power, and the whole park is crumbling because they don't have the crystals, and how fights are going on because the Pokemon just don't know what's going on, and they're all blaming each other, and you gotta unify the whole park. And it's just really fun to have it 100% completed, all best friends, all the attractions beaten with all the Pokemon who can do the attractions, getting the codes, getting the legends to do the attractions. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. Why this game over Pokepark Wii 2 is that for the first time I can actually say, when picking the prequel to one of the series, is that Pokepark Wii 2 is actually worse. I will say that it's actually worse. It got rid of the fun that I liked out of it, really. And even though you could switch between 4 characters, it was a bit too cluttered and a bit too confusing, and I didn't really know what to do. I think Pokepark Wii 1 had it down pat and perfect with what it wanted to do. Pokepark Wii 2 did try to experiment, of course, but I think it didn't go as well. The worlds weren't just weren't as memorable, the attractions weren't as great. In fact, there weren't that many attractions. It just did not feel like a Pokepark Wii game. And I always think that the first one will be the superior one, like the actual definitive superior one. Unlike all the others where like Pokemon Ranger, where it's just my opinion, I think this is the better of the 2 games. I don't know, let me know what you think, but this game is just really fun and I wholeheartedly recommend it. This is one of those don't judge a book by its cover, or don't judge the game by its cover, because it might look all colourful and kid-friendly, but it's actually really fun when you get down into the surface of it. Number 4, Pokemon Sun and Moon. Now, like I said when I was reviewing Ruby, Emerald, and Sapphire, is that I really like it when there's a tropical theme to explore, and not just a city. And this game is set in, well, let's not beat around the bush. This game's set Hawaii, and there are 4 islands that are all nice and tropical, and you can explore all these islands. And all the new Pokemon are, again, really fitting into the area. There's still a lot about Generation 7 I don't know. I'm still playing the game, I'm still hooked on it. And honestly, it might be one of the best Pokemon games we've had in a long time. There's a lot that they added to the game that I really appreciate. Just all these little small things that make the game both a lot more fun for first-time players of the game, which they got because Pokemon Go was such a big success, but they also really, do things for the fans of the game, like introduce Red and Blue into the game in the post-game. And, what can you say about one of the main series Pokemon games that I haven't already said before? So, what are the improvements? Well, obviously the graphics are improved, but it just looks so gorgeous, and of course the music is so nice and vibrant. Pretty much everything I've said about Ruby, Emerald, and Sapphire is why I like Pokemon Sun and Moon. But Sun and Moon actually does it better, because it came out later, it's had more time, it's everything that Pokemon has done, just concentrated into a little ball of glory, and I really think it captured something that Pokemon X and Y just couldn't. Pokemon X and Y, of course, were great games, but I think Sun and Moon actually did a lot better with the new generation of games, adding new mechanics, like the 4-player battles, and it's just a lot of fun. And the story mode, like I briefly explained before, is actually a lot deeper than Pokemon games usually are. Like Black and White, there's actually a big story that you can actually get invested to, which I think is a really good addition. But, of course, anyone will tell you that, it's just off the nostalgia hype. The designs look really weird, and they'll say that for any generation, but honestly, I really like the designs of these Pokemon. Maybe it's just me, but Sun and Moon is the best Pokemon game we've had in a long time. Number 3, Pokemon Stadium. Now, it was hard to only pick 10 for this list, and a little kind of challenge I was trying to make for myself is that if I was going to go for games that aren't in the main series, I don't want to go for one game per spin-off. For example, I'm not going to have Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Altaria, or I forgot the name, and, all 3 of those games, or the whole quadrilogy of Rumble games. And so when it came to picking which of the Pokemon Stadium games I liked, I actually went for the first one. And don't get me wrong, Pokemon Stadium 2 is still an absolutely amazing game, but here's why I go for 1 over 2. Oh boy, it's really hard to explain why I like Pokemon Stadium 1 over Pokemon Stadium 2. And I can't just say because nostalgia. I just get a better vibe from the game. Obviously the main single-player part of the game was the Gym Leader Towers, and while I've been told that Pokemon Stadium 2 has the Gym Leader Towers, it just didn't feel as nice as the Pokemon Stadium 1 Towers, where you could get rental Pokemon that could actually do something, and you could actually beat the whole game, save for probably Mewtwo. With the rental Pokemon, you didn't have to import your own Pokemon. You could buy the game as a standalone game and play it. The minigames were all very, very fun. I mean, just playing the minigames alone was enough to keep me interested as a kid, and as I was growing up into an adult, the Gym Leader Tower Challenge kept me playing the game. Of course, this game was, when I got this game, it was so fun to play Pokemon in 3D on the screen with your friends, and it's got the multiplayer. You can both just sit there without a link cable on the one console and play the game. It was so beautiful to just see the 3D animations, and it was just a great great fun experience. The minigames were also multiplayer, and it was also really fun to play with a lot of friends, because the minigames were 4-player, so you could have 4 people all going in. And there was technically there was double battles. It was still single battles because double battles hadn't been introduced until Generation 3. But 2 people could basically be on a team, and each would have 3 Pokemon that they control. And so they could switch between, their 3 Pokemon, and the other team could switch between their 3 Pokemon, and then you would have to knock out all 6 of the opponent's Pokemon before you win. It was actually really intuitive and really fun. At least for, back in 1998. But, yeah, this game was actually a lot of fun, and I still crack it open now to play, even just for the minigames, even just for the Gym Tower Challenge. I know I could just open up Pokemon Red and Blue and get a lot more, solid experience, but really, it came out at the right time, and there's a reason why Pokemon Stadium 3 has never come out, because it wouldn't be as interesting to see the Pokemon in 3D now. There wouldn't be a point, there wouldn't be the same charm as Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 had. And I think that that's the reason that they're so great, is that they could not have come out at any other time and been as great as they were. The reason they were so great is because they came out at a time where staring at a Rhydon in 3D blew your little balls off, and it's just something you can't do now when you can pick up a copy of Sun and Moon, and not only is he in 3D, but he's fully animated as well. It's just one of those games that was really great, and it's a product of the time in all the best ways, and it's still fun to pick up and play today. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of it. The top 2, and, well, one of the best Pokemon games ever made. They actually came in pretty early with their perfection. In fact, Generation 2, you could say, with Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Again, I've only got Gold, because my Pokemon Silver, its battery died, and I haven't replaced it yet, but sure, here's Pokemon Gold. Yes, here we go. I think Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal were one of the best games. It was the classics. They improved so much. They had the experience bar, they had such an improved interface, an interface that pretty much stayed consistent up until now. They haven't really done much to change the core system they implemented in Generation 2. This is when Pokemon got its act together and made one of the best experiences ever. The story was great. Well, the gameplay was great. Going from town to town felt a lot nicer. It was fun seeing all the new Pokemon back when new Pokemon was such a big and massive thing. Like, holy shit, new additions? Like, holy crap! The music was a lot better than Generation 1, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but really, some of the tracks in this game are just really, really great. What else can I say? The post-game, like, my god, it was just a simple little game, a simple little post-game, which all ended in you fighting your Generation 1 character, Red, in an ultimate battle of, your 2 characters, how you've evolved against your Generation 1 character, how you've changed, how you've adapted. And it just took everything that made Red and Blue so iconic and improved everything. It took out all the massive bugs, like freezing bugs, and Coil and Wrap doing that thing where you can't attack. It made a lot of the issues that the game had and fixed them. It took a lot of the interface issues that were wrong and fixed them. It added a lot more sprites, it added a lot more playability to the game, it got rid of a lot of the glitches of the game, and really, I would honestly say, it is the definitive Pokemon experience. If I was to give you a game, it's your first Pokemon game, you know nothing about Pokemon, and you ask me what game should I play to get into Pokemon, I would not say Red and Blue. I would say Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, because if they're first getting into a game, Red and Blue is too confusing nowadays. Kids aren't going to have the patience to sit there and try and figure out the interface. But if you give them Gold, Silver, and Crystal, it's easy for them to understand it, and they'll more likely be into the game and all the future games. It's something they'll really want to get into, and even for an adult that hasn't really been into Pokemon, I would wholeheartedly recommend Gold, Silver, and Crystal. My girlfriend hasn't played anything past Generation 1, so I'm forcing her to play Gold, Silver, and Crystal, and it's just, what else can you say about this game? Ho-Oh and Lugia were such iconic moments in the game. I know that there was the Mewtwo battle from Red and Blue, but it won't beat the Ho-Oh experience for me. And of course, the legendary dogs were always a lot of fun. You know, just like Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos. With how many legends they've got in the new games nowadays, nothing will be as iconic as finding a legend in those first 2 generations of games. Because that was when you knew shit was getting real, and you'll never recreate that with how many legends there are now. There's just too many, like, oh hey, there's a Regirock, oh hey, there's a Lugia, oh hey, there's a Shaman, oh look, it's Thundurus. Like, it gets to the point where it's almost not even exciting to see a legend. It's just like, oh hey, yeah, Manaphy, that's not really one of the ones I like. I would have preferred if it was a Lugia or something. But in Gen 1 and 2, any legend you got, you went and you took it. You fucking loved it. And that's why I think Gold and Silver is just the definitive Pokemon experience. In my opinion, anyway. Now, before we get to number 1, I have 3 honourable mentions, because when I made the list, I whittled it down to 13 very easily. It was really hard to cut out 3 of them, so I'll now mention them here. The first honourable mention was for Pokemon Red and Blue. I of course love these games, and I will always have a place for them in my heart, but there were a lot of flaws here that, when you get the nostalgia goggles off, you really see, but honestly, I don't care about those flaws, and I do love this game. I just felt that this list needed to be more of a highlight to the non-main series games. The second honourable mention goes to the Pokemon trading card game. It's actually really very fun, and I enjoyed it a lot, but I do prefer the actual card game, and the rules have evolved a lot since the Generation 1 era. But sometimes it's nice to go back to just when the game was a lot simpler, and this is the best way to do it. And obviously the cheapest way to do it. And the third honourable mention goes to Pokemon Go, because fuck you, I like this game. I play this game when I walk to work, and it's a great distraction, and my girlfriend and I play it all the time, and we really do talk about it a lot. So I'm thankful for that too. It's too bare bones to make the list, but it holds a dear place in my heart, and the Generation 2 Pokemon were finally released, so I'm happy about that too. But the game keeps doing really dumb things, like recently making me look for stupidly hard to get metal coats and things to evolve my Scyther and Porygon. Like, I got 100 bloody Scyther candy, what more do you want from me? But anyways, I digress. On to number 1. And my number 1 favourite game is... Okay, so now that I've gotten that out of the way, I really hope that you guys just respect the choice that I think the best Pokemon games were Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. I know, this is probably like, I can hear the comments now being typed, but hear me out. This is why I think Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum are, in my opinion, well, just my favourite games. Not even really the best, just my favourite of the Pokemon games. Oh boy, you're gonna crucify me for this. Oh, I can see the comments now saying how stupid my choice is, how bad I am at life, and all the thumbs down I will get, but please remember that this is my list. And if you're here and you've made it this far, you probably like Pokemon just as much as me. So let's just appreciate all the series gave us, and please remember this is my own personal list. Now, I know that this game is absolutely shit on, and I know that people hate it, but I want to give my perspective of what I like about this game more than any other, so I'm going to do dot points of the things I love about this game and give a detail of each dot point a bit. Number 1 is the graphics. This game was the first main Pokemon game on the DS, and after Pokemon Dash, which, yeah. This showed off the major upgrades in how the game looked, and trust me, I am a firm believer if graphics don't make the game, but in this case, it made the world much more engaging. All the places had their unique style, and despite going back to the city basis that Generation 1 and 2 had, I felt like each town had a lot more life and a lot more of its own different story than Generation 1 and 2 had, where I could get a few of the towns confused. And the world was able to suck me in. The graphics for the interface improved, and they were my favourite all the way up until the release of Sun and Moon for a long bloody time. The move graphics were also a lot more epic. 2. The music. This game has my favourite Pokemon soundtrack. It has a lot more dud tracks than the Gen 2 and 3 soundtrack, but some of the sounds are just so perfect, so nostalgic, and just so nice to listen to that I actually stop what I'm doing and just listen to it, involving myself with nothing else, which rarely ever happens to me because I'm not the biggest music lover. I don't get emotionally involved in music, but these tracks, kind of like some of the tracks in Super Mario Sunshine, just make me stop and really just listen to and appreciate some of the tracks. They're just so beautiful to listen to. And 3. The new Pokemon. The biggest criticism was the introduction of new baby Pokemon, but did we all just forget about Gen 2, which added more of these baby Pokemon and introduced the concept, and this game brought us some of my favorite Pokemon. My all-time favorite non-legendary Lucario, as well as Infernape, Staraptor, which was actually pretty competitive for a while, Garchomp, Electabuzz, Magmortar, Spiritomb, that creepy bastard, Magnezone, 2 new evolutions, Darkrai, Giratina, and the literal god of Pokemon, Arceus. And the immersion and feeling I get from this game is one not yet replicated by any other game. And yes, the game may have its flaws, it may have tons of them, but this game is always the one I will go back to. The one that I am the most fond of, and has the biggest place in my heart. It's simply my favorite. Not just my favorite Pokemon game, but my 5th favorite game of all time. Nothing much left to say, except that I will always adore this game. And I know you probably won't agree with me, but it's just something about this game always draws me back to it. There's a sense of comfort, a sense of warmth, a sense of weird nostalgia. Nostalgia that I don't have for games that I played a lot earlier in my life. A nostalgia for games that I played at the same time as this game isn't as strong as this. I don't know why, but every time I look at the game's graphics, every time I hear the Snowpoint City music, I just want to play this game more than anything, and I don't know what it is, but there's just something so beautiful and magical about this game for me, and I don't think there'll ever be a Pokemon game that tops that feeling. So, yeah. Phew. Anyway. Well, that's it for my top 10. If there's a game that I missed that you really like, put it in the comments. I really want to know what games you like. What are your top 3? What games weren't on the list that you really like? Keep in mind I said at the start of this video that there aren't many bad games in the series. I like pretty much all of them. Even the Pokemon Pinball stuff is really cool. So, yeah, that's just my 10 favorites, the ones that I come back to over and over again. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you want to see more. I'd really like to know if you guys would like to see more Pokemon related stuff. I already have another Pokemon top 10 video planned, which is the top 10 anime openings. You know, which of the openings for the show were the best in my opinion. And also, if you consider subscribing to the channel, it'd really help us out a lot. You can click on Froakie right here to subscribe. We really appreciate it. We do a bunch of gaming stuff, and also I plan to do, like I said, a lot of other top 10s in the future. So if you like the content, you know, please support us. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Thanks for watching all the way to here. If you did, even if you just skipped to here, it at least shows that you're interested in what number 1 was. So yeah, hey, yeah. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Alright, you can go back on the shelf now.